This is a story about an extraordinary event on an otherwise ordinary day. As you listen, you'll see how life is full of unexpected surprises. It was a scorching summer day. The bustling streets of New York were alive with energy. People hurried to their destinations, whether to work, shop, or simply enjoy the day. The blaring horns of taxis and the rhythmic sounds of footsteps on the sidewalks created a symphony of urban life. As always, the city brimmed with an energy that never slept. Donald Trump, having just finished a business meeting, decided to take a short walk along Fifth Avenue. Clad in a navy blue suit and his signature red tie, he was as noticeable as ever. As he strolled, observing the pace of the city and its people, his thoughts wandered until the sound of an argument caught his attention. Curious, he noticed a small crowd gathering at the corner of the street. As he approached, he saw an elderly woman standing beside a makeshift stall, clutching her handmade bracelets and trinkets. Opposite her was a man, his voice loud and harsh as he berated her. "Get out of here!" The man shouted, his tone filled with disdain. "We don't want beggars like you in this neighborhood." The elderly woman held onto her stall, her hands trembling slightly. In a soft, quivering voice, she replied, "I'm not a beggar. I'm just trying to sell the things I've made." The man let out a mocking laugh. "Who's going to buy this junk? You're just blocking the sidewalk. This place isn't for people like you." Trump stopped in his tracks, his attention fixed on the scene before him. The stark contrast between the woman's helpless expression and the man's brazen hostility struck a chord. While the crowd around them watched silently, no one stepped forward to intervene. Something inside Trump stirred. He couldn't just stand by. Trump made his way through the crowd with a determined expression. His commanding presence caused the onlookers to step aside. As he approached the scene, the man noticed him and paused briefly, startled, but quickly regained his composure. "Excuse me," Trump said in a firm tone. "What exactly is going on here?" The man, taken aback but still defiant, replied, "This woman is blocking the sidewalk. She's in the way." Trump shot the man a sharp look before kneeling beside the elderly woman. This unexpected act captured the attention of everyone present. "What's your name, ma'am?" Trump asked gently. "Margaret," she replied, her voice wavering. "Margaret Hill." "Margaret," Trump said, picking up one of her bracelets to examine it closely. "Did you make these yourself?" She nodded. "Yes, I've been making these for years. My pension isn't enough, so I try to earn a little extra. But sometimes people don't understand." Trump smiled warmly. "This is beautiful craftsmanship," he said. "You're one of the hardest working people here." Turning to the man, his voice hardened. "And you're telling her to leave? You're belittling her efforts?" The man's face flushed red. "I was just trying to keep the sidewalk clear," he muttered. Trump's piercing gaze didn't waver. "If you're so concerned about order, why don't you help her instead? But I suppose that would be too much to ask." Trump turned back to Margaret with a smile. "Margaret, how much is this bracelet?" Margaret hesitated. "It's just $10, she said timidly. Trump pulled a $100 bill from his wallet and handed it to her. "I'll take it. Keep the change. It's worth much more than that." His action sparked a wave of support. Members of the crowd began approaching Margaret's stall. A woman exclaimed, "These are beautiful. Why haven't I seen them before?" Another man said, "I'll take a couple of these. They're amazing." Within minutes, nearly all of Margaret's items were sold. Tears welled up in her eyes as she turned to Trump. "Why are you doing this?" she asked, her voice trembling. Trump's smile remained steady. "Because people need to learn to respect hardworking and honest individuals," he said. "And sometimes, it takes the right stand at the right moment to remind them." Meanwhile, the man who had berated Margaret now stood silently, shrinking under the weight of the crowd's judgmental stares. His earlier confidence had vanished, replaced by discomfort and embarrassment. Trump addressed him calmly but firmly. "Maybe this will teach you something," he said. "Next time, think twice before treating someone without the respect they deserve." It's easy to judge people based on appearances or circumstances. The real challenge is trying to understand them first. The man, visibly flustered, stammered, "You're right," before quickly retreating into the crowd. Trump watched him go, his expression a mix of disappointment and resolve. Speaking softly, almost to himself, He added, "We all make mistakes. But learning from them is what makes us human." Margaret's voice broke the silence as she looked at Trump with gratitude. "You didn't have to be here today, but I'm so glad you were," she said. "You didn't just help me. You opened everyone's eyes." Trump nodded, his tone sincere. "Margaret, being here felt like the right thing to do. If we want to make a difference, we have to seize these moments." The interaction between Trump and Margaret left a profound impact on the crowd. People didn't just witness an act of kindness. They felt inspired to reflect on their own actions. Some stayed to admire Margaret's work, while others walked away, deep in thought about what they had seen. Before leaving, Trump addressed the crowd one last time. "What we learned here today is that small actions can carry great meaning. By respecting and supporting those around us, we can build a better community. Never underestimate the power of humanity. It's a virtue that should never be taken lightly." These words resonated deeply, leaving an indelible mark on those who heard them. As the commotion died down and the street returned to its usual rhythm, Margaret's stall stood as a symbol of resilience and hope. This day wasn't just a turning point for Margaret, but for everyone who witnessed it. Trump's intervention proved that even the smallest gesture could spark a wave of change. And so, in the ever-busy streets of New York, a simple act of humanity echoed as a powerful reminder of what's possible when we choose to do what's right. Enjoyed the story? Don't keep it to yourself. Share it with a friend. Hit that like button and subscribe for more heartwarming tales. Let's spread the inspiration together.